The voice that defied tyranny. The voice that defied tyranny. He stood alone when the world trembled. He raised his voice when others stayed silent. And in the darkest hour, when all hope seemed lost, he gave the world courage. Winston Churchill. The man who refused to bow to fear. The leader who reminded us that even one voice can change the course of history. This is not just a story of war. This is the story of resilience, vision, and a refusal to surrender. The making of a leader. Winston Churchill was born in 1874, into aristocracy, but not into admiration. As a child, he struggled in school. His teachers thought he lacked discipline. But Winston had something most didn't see: fire. He joined the military, served as a war correspondent, and entered politics by his mid-20s. And though his journey was far from smooth, he never stopped rising. He once said, "Success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm." That was Churchill's secret. Not brilliance. Not perfection. Persistence. The storm of World War II, May 1940, Nazi Germany was sweeping through Europe, France was falling, and Britain was next. Winston Churchill became Prime Minister at the darkest moment in British history. The country was tired, divided, afraid, but Churchill, he was in June 1940, he declared, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall never surrender." Those weren't just words, they were lifelines. They rallied a nation, they gave hope where there was none. He made no promises of peace, no illusions of ease, but he gave the people something greater: truth and resolve. When bombs fell on London during the Blitz, Churchill walked through the ruins with his people. He wasn't hiding in bunkers. He was out front, visible, unshaken. Churchill wasn't perfect. He made mistakes, in war, in politics, in personal life. But his leadership came from conviction, not convenience. White have a checkmark. He understood timing. When others begged for peace, Churchill knew that giving in meant defeat. He held the line when the world wanted compromise. White have a checkmark. He mastered words. His speeches were weapons. His voice, a shield. In an age without social media, Churchill's voice reached millions, igniting hope in their hearts. White have a checkmark. He believed in unity. Even in crisis, he formed a coalition government. He said, "If we are together, nothing is impossible." He led not through popularity, but through purpose. Lessons from Churchill. What do we learn from Winston Churchill? What can one voice, in one moment, teach us today? White have a checkmark. 1. Stand firm when others run. In crisis, most retreat. Churchill advanced. Be the person who stands their ground when everything shakes. White have a checkmark. 2. Speak with purpose. Your words matter. They can heal, uplift, lead. Use them wisely and fearlessly. White have a checkmark. 3. Don't wait for perfection. Churchill failed, repeatedly, but he kept showing up. Perfection isn't required. Persistence is. White have a checkmark. 4. Lead with courage. Even when you're uncertain. Even when the odds are stacked. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's action despite it. White have a checkmark. 5. Never surrender. This was more than a wartime slogan. It was Churchill's life philosophy. Whether facing defeat, criticism, or failure, he never gave in. The man who roared. Winston Churchill didn't save the world with armies. He saved it with courage, with conviction, with a voice that refused to break. He reminded us that even when the skies go dark, a single voice of hope can become the roar of a nation.